Hi there again. Just giving you a bit of an update. I've received an email from one of my lenders on my panel, and it was to do with personal loans, and they were giving some reasons as to why people would typically look at getting a personal loan. Now, I have to say, as a form of finance, look, personal loans are fine, but if you have equity in your home that is available, then obviously the rates you're going to pay on a variation in the amount you've got borrowed on your home loan is going to be a lot more competitive than most personal loan rates that are out there. So personal loans per se are not something that you would recommend people do if they've got property or other assets they can use as security, because what security does for a lender is it provides them with some benefit if you default on the loan, so they can recover that asset that they might have some sort of charge over. Okay, so bearing in mind that caveat, what is it that this lender in particular is looking at from a personal loan perspective? And I think they've come up with some really good ideas that probably need to be thought about, particularly in this age of higher education and further education. One is that sort of education that requires you to upskill for a new job, and you need to do a training course. So the amount may not be significant, but it may be more than you have in your bank account, and using a credit card would obviously be one way of doing it. But if you can't pay the credit card on time, then you're going to be paying very high rates of interest for most credit cards, and personal loan rates will generally be lower than that, although some of them may actually be as high as a credit card. So you just need to be careful and make sure that you understand what sort of commitment you're getting into. They talk about home improvements, and they talk about obviously small home improvements. Again, if you had any significant amount that you needed, if you had a properly structured home loan with an offset account and you had some capacity to redraw the amount on your home loan, you'd obviously go that route first. But let's say, for example, for whatever reason, you don't have that capacity and the cost and expense of getting a variation on your home loan you believe is too much, then you may decide to go down the path of looking at a personal loan. Again, I would probably look a little bit more strategically at the issue and say, look, I know this is a one-off expenditure on the home. Might there be other things that we could get done around the house if we're planning on doing that? And perhaps we go for a loan that allows us to redraw against the value of the home at a higher loan-to-value ratio, or LVR, than we're currently at, and obviously then pay home loan rates as opposed to personal loan rates. The third one is some form of debt consolidation. Again, look, there might be some benefits in this because it puts it all together, all your loans, and I can see the benefit in doing that sometimes compared to having separate amounts being due, perhaps different creditors chasing you for amounts owing that might be causing you stress and inconvenience. Again, my preference would be for any sort of debt consolidation is if you have some spare equity in your home, if you're a homeowner, then you're obviously going to be better off up front in getting the loan against your home loan. Obviously, there are establishment fees and things of that nature that you also need to take into account with a new home loan. But if you do the numbers, it may well be that a home loan is going to be the better alternative for you. The key thing with increasing your home loan is that typically the term of a home loan goes for obviously anything up to 30 years. So if you're 5 years into a home loan, you've got 25 years to go. If you don't repay the additional amount you've borrowed within a reasonable time period, then the interest cost that you incur over 25 years may well equate to the interest cost that you would spend over a personal loan period that might be 2, 3, 4 years in length. So again, you need to do your sums. That's where a broker can come into play, because a broker can do the numbers for you. and make sure that what you're getting is a loan that's most suitable for you in that context of when you're planning on getting it repaid. The next thing they talk about is car purchases and repairs. Look, a car is an asset. There are loans you can get for car loans. Again, you'd probably want to look at the rate difference. Personal loan rates that are unsecured, meaning there's no security over an asset, would probably be, in most cases, I would have thought would have been higher than a car loan rate. Car loan rates aren't, they're not as cheap as home loan rates generally, but they generally are also cheaper and often significantly cheaper than for unsecured personal loans. Last one is a boat or caravan purchase. So if you couldn't do the thing that most financial advisors would suggest, which is that you save up for these luxury non-essential items, then yes, you might get a personal loan for those sort of purposes. I would probably, as a broker, I would definitely want to have a discussion with you about the benefit of doing a personal loan for these non-essential items versus saving first and then reducing any borrowings you have. But in the absence of you wanting to change your mind, then obviously you could use a personal loan for that purpose. So look, there's some of the examples. That's some reasoning and rationale that I've come up with. Always happy to have a chat and discussion around what we can do to assist you. Our job primarily is to get a loan that's most suitable for you, and also to make sure that you've considered all the relevant issues in terms of repayment, the term of the loan, how long you're taking it out for, what's the total interest cost you're going to be spending, what are the alternatives you have, and just make sure that it's a decision that results in a most suitable loan for you. Okay, that's it for now. Take care and have a great day. Cheers.